farmers, being good stewards of the land is just part of the job. But when it comes to the water, this next farmer has a more vested interest than most. Let's just say she's not afraid to get a little wet.
Come on, girls, let's go. It's time to go. Come on.
6 a.m. feels like nighttime in October, when the sky stays dark until well after 7. So you can hardly blame these cows for being a little bit groggy.
Come on, let's go. Get up.
Still, you'd think they'd be used to the routine by now.
Our daily routine on the milking farm is that we get up in the morning, we go and we get the cows, we break down the milkers, we get ready to milk the cows.
It's twice a day milking, and it's 7 days a week, and it's 365 days a year.
Like clockwork, marking the beginning of every workday. Here at Stony Point Farm in Frederick County.
Right now, with 54 cows, we're shipping approximately 5,400 pounds of milk every 2 days, and that goes to a butter plant in Carlisle.
With all that practice under her belt, farmer Julie Mayer knows her way around a milking parlor. But it hasn't always been that way.
I was 30 years old before I milked a cow.
It wasn't until she met John, whose grandfather had owned a dairy, that Julie started to get acquainted with the world of farming.
It's kind of like a bug that you get. You fall in love with it, and it just kind of gets in your system, and somehow you just kind of can't shake it.
As the sun rises and the last cow makes her way out of the parlor, John and Julie move on to the rest of the day's chores. Feeding the calves, moving the cows to fresh grass, serving up a tasty grain mix to supplement the grass, checking on the animals.
One of my main objectives is to put my eyes on every single cow every day, and then doctoring anybody that could be sick.
It's a lot of work, without a lot of breaks, except every other Friday.
We started to scuba dive when I was 50 years old. My husband bought it for us as a Christmas present for the whole family, so it's kind of become a whole big family thing.
So what exotic locale is Julie slipping off to twice a month?
I dive the National Aquarium in Baltimore as a volunteer. We go in and we feed and we observe anything that needs to be reported back.
Meaning, even on her days off, Julie is still surrounded by nosy, hungry animals. But it's a relaxing hobby, and one that affects the way she and John think about their farm.
Conservation to us is extremely important. We have the Monocacy River behind us, we have creeks around us, and all this flows into the bay. We like to fish, we like to scuba dive, so we see that what we do affects what happens in the bay and then ultimately goes into the ocean.
For dairy farms like Stony Point, the biggest concern is runoff.
The cows eat a lot, they also make a lot of manure.
A single dairy cow can produce about 120 pounds of nutrient-rich manure every day. Allowing that manure to run off into streams can cause algae blooms that block waterways, deplete oxygen levels, and kill fish.
What we do here on the farm is we control that manure. We take it and it's put into a manure storage system that's totally contained, concreted.
Twice a year, just before planting, the manure is spread on the farm's crop fields and worked into the soil itself.
We try to incorporate that within 24 hours so we don't have any leaching or that type of thing.
And that's not all they do to reduce runoff. Other waste management practices include limiting the cows' access to streams by installing designated crossing areas and using rotational grazing.
That way it disperses like the manure so they're not like all congregated in one solid area.
All of their efforts have paid off in the form of an award from the Frederick County Soil Conservation District. But they're not doing it for the glory.
This is the largest estuary in North America, is the Chesapeake Bay. It is so important for all of us in Maryland to take ownership of runoff. We all have to be very, very careful as far as how we certainly treat this wonderful resource.
Treat our waterways right, from the bay to the ocean and beyond, and they might treat us to a show.
Stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.